You want to restart? We lower our gaze on a lone figure limping against the crowd flooding to the keep. Once more, he stands before his old house. He clenches the head of his cane in a white-knuckled grip. Welcome, listeners, to Shining in Shadow.
So I'm going to kind of take a little bit of a deep breath for a moment and just be like, all right. It's going to be awkward and awful.
Yeah. All right. So what are you going to do?
First, I'm going to wait to see if my dad is kind of like wandering around the interior of the home, or see if he can just sense I'm outside, because he kind of always had that power of just kind of appearing.
Yeah, you see some movement like behind a curtain. Curtain pulls aside, and you see your father's face like peek around the window. See everybody on their way towards the keep. He sees you and shuts the curtain very quickly.
I kind of let out one of those like awkward like laughs, and then I just slowly start making my way up to the door.
Okay. You reach the door and the door opens. Your father's standing in the doorway. I thought I made it clear I don't want you here.
I directly push the door open and go past him into the house.
He stumbles aside, falling down. I said I don't want you here. Get out!
I will. I'll leave once I get what I came for.
There's nothing here for you, son.
I'm going to look around to see if I have any proof that my mom is still alive or just around, since I haven't seen her or heard from her.
There's no visual cue for it, but there is a smell. It's the perfume that she's always worn. Now, your father could just be spraying it around the house, but it seems a little more potent than that.
So I'm going to look directly at my father and just let out a quick little like breath and just call out, Ma!
You hear from the den a creaking of wood, and then maybe some shuffling. You're not entirely certain, but a very hunched figure peers into the hall and looks right at you. Something seems to break within the person. The eyes become glassy and a desperate shut. She shuffles desperately across the hall and into your arms.
So I kind of meet her embrace and just kind of hold her for a moment.
Son, I told you to get the hell out of here.
Completely just ignoring him. And I'm gonna, like, at this point, because when I lived in Israel, I had totally gotten rid of my accent, so it's kind of like slip back into being a kind of thing. So only like when I speak to her do I sound like my old self. When it's him, it's just like my strict, like, no voice.
Sure.
Ma, I need you to come with me.
She looks up at you, and her mouth moves as if trying to voice something, but she gives up and then just nods.
So I continue, like, I just gently smile at her, and I start, like, helping her walk out the home.
No, you're not taking help from me. Not again. You stop that right now. And he, like, kind of gets up, trying to, like, come after you, and falls again, his leg giving out.
Careful with that, and as I'm helping her leave the house, I hear our family has bad legs.
You help your mom shuffle out of the house.
Mm-hmm. And as I do, I'm trying to look to see if there's anybody, like, taking a carriage or a cart up back to the keep area.
You actually see the blacksmith. Not your neighbor so much, but probably the closest person to you is loading up a cart with armaments.
Okay, do I recognize him, or is this like a guy I've never known before?
Yeah, you recognize him. Actually have a name for him.
Cool, about that. If you don't, I do.
It's Nor. N-O-R. He's the owner of Nor's Smithy.
I want you to know I have a name written down over here that was just Orn, as in Orn smithing, so good job. So as I'm like guiding her, I look back at my father, like before the door closes, and I'm just gonna call him like, "You're welcome to join, but you won't get any help from me."
And the father stands very shakily and slams the door.
I'm gonna lean into my mom because I'm pretty. I mean, I know she can definitely hear me, but like, he's just being his stubborn self. Let's get you into the car.
She nods and she's like clinging to you desperately. Like I imagine it's one of those situations where until now or until you came back, it was assumed that you were dead.
Yeah, backstory I wish about to finish. The kind of way how I left my house entirely. Yeah, that's how I had it written up too. It was just like I just kind of vanished.
Awesome.
So perfect. But yeah, so I'm walking with her to the cart that belongs to our sweet Nor.
All right. Oi! I didn't know she still lived there. Get her in the cart, boy. Get her in the cart.
Still keep my accent at this moment, like I can do.
And the blacksmith just continues like loading up the cart with bundles of armaments, arrows, arrowheads, sword, lances, spears, everything he can manage to get out of the cart. And if you can give me a hand with all this stuff, that'd be great.
Oh, can do. And I'm being like real chipper and happy. So I'm gonna like as I'm like leaving my mom in the cart, I'm going to take off my cloak for her to hang on to. That way I'm like, I don't leave anywhere without this, so I'll be back for it.
She takes it and she has it like there's like a word for how I would describe this, but she's gripping it to her chest and like kind of twisting the fabric in her hands, but she's so weak that she's barely doing anything, but for her it is wrenching. She's wrenching the cloth between her hands, and because of how weak she is, it's not doing a whole lot, but for her it's like a massive amount of effort. Like it's almost as if she doesn't believe that this is really happening. And you manage to get some stuff back in the cart, and Nor, being who he is, doesn't have a horse, so he just kind of nods for you to hop in yourself, lifts up this cart, and once he gets this thing moving, because he is built like a brick house, he just kind of carries it through town.
Cool.
And
So I'm
back to
gonna
the keep.
nice. So yeah, I'm gonna sit next to my mom, make sure she's covered. Like I'm keeping my cloak just on her, no matter how cold I get.
Awesome. And with that, we cut back to the rest of the party.
I believe I was arguing with a man named Waylon. Waylon, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Who Arlen trusts for some reason.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? I'm super trustworthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's just a mystic old man. Can't tell if Arlen or Ashley.
Both.
That is correct.
Yeah. I assume that you found all of the compatriots for those cards, yes?
Yep.
Good.
Like I said,
very good.
The magician's over there, and I'll kind of hail Egan, because if I remember right, he was within sight and earshot of us.
Yes, I believe so.
I take notice, put the thing I was messing with back in my pocket, and walk over, just very nonchalant, confused maybe by why I'd be necessary, but I come over happily.
The Magus. You?
Excuse me?
Oh, that is you. You're the Magus, yes?
I've been known to do a thing or two of magic, sure.
Embraces it immediately. That's my boy.
I do an actual, not my magic coin. I use a different coin and roll it over my knuckles once and put it back in my pocket.
Boy, that is not the magic I speak of. I know what you're capable of.
Oh. All right then.
Anyway, so we have about an hour and a half until sundown. So let's get these defenses going. Your buddy, the sword over there, is doing a fine job. And you like turn around to see Tresco dragging this barricade out of the stockades, storehouse that's on the premises. He's just dragging it out by himself.
Damn. He's moving fast.
Not fast, just by himself.
You get the alcohol out of his system and he's not completely worthless.
The alcohol.
Could I hear her?
No, not yet. Wait, do you have something funny or rude?
I was just going to comment as what you said pretty much.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then you hear her. Go for it.
I am very drunk and would like help.
You look over, and Lady McLear is gesturing for people to go and help him. So groups are coming over, and some grab the barricade you're already working on, and a few more make their way into the storage to grab some more. And a few more are bringing out armaments, whatever is on hand. And just as they're doing that, Nor the blacksmith is by himself pulling a cart loaded with armaments and an old lady and Trist into the keep.
Do I recognize?
Yes, you recognize Nor for sure.
Is it? No, I meant his mother.
Oh,
Or is she unrecognizable?
Well, Trist, would you say that?
Or she never left the house? Was the other one.
I would probably say, I'm not sure exactly what entirely her ailment is, but I mean, I'm assuming that she never really left the house too much except for to tend to the garden outside. So unless she came by during one of the times she was doing that, probably not too.
No, highly unlikely.
Yeah.
Just
Also,
wanted
on
to
top of that, how many years have you been gone, Micah?
Oh God, since I was 6, so almost 20.
Yeah,
years.
so, I mean, I've only been gone, I think, at my point, like, since I was, 18 when you get to do your military time, right?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, so mine's 9 years. So, I mean, yeah, she's probably changed quite a bit.
Okay,
All right,
that's all I wanted to know.
cool. You do recognize Nor, though.
Okay.
He's gotten some gray in his hair, but not a whole lot's changed about him. He's kind of like that steadfast, always the same person.
Okay.
Yep. And he like drops the cart, and he helps your mother down from the cart, and then helps you down, and yells for people to start grabbing weapons.
Cool. I'm gonna, like, gently with my mom, like, we're just gonna shuffle out of the way to go find a place for her to sit down, hopefully near fire to keep her warm.
Cool.
Do we have civilians who look like they can fight?
Oh yeah, you've got a militia.
Thank God. I mean, the gods. I mean, thank nature? How does it work?
Spirits like earth
Spirit, I
spirits,
think.
I
earth
guess
spirits,
the
forest spirits, things like that.
I
Yeah,
guess that's fair.
That's my next
Yeah.
design. It's gonna be thank nature.
great. Question mark. Also, something that I just reminded myself of by looking at my notes that I made that I needed to remind myself of things. Tresco, last week you rolled a natural 10 on a mental resistance check.
Cool.
A NATO mechanic that I totally forgot about is that anytime you do that, you gain hardening. So you have a point in your hardening now.
Oh yeah, because me and Arlen did that.
Mm-hmm. And I forgot about that, and that's my bad. But there it is. You're one step closer to Empty Fortress.
Yeah, that's Superman, right?
No, that's like no personality left. You're just a husk.
Superman.
Not the Iron Giant, just a husk.
Yep.
Although if you get the name Iron Giant at some point in this campaign, that's some next level bullshit.
That would
Yeah.
be cool. We'll work on it.
That's a good nickname.
We don't own the rights.
Sure. There's no. Yeah, we're good.
They don't own the rights.
They don't own the rights to Iron Giant. Now,
They
if he
own
starts
the
doing...
rights to be Iron Giants.
As long as
Side
just-
note, I don't know how many plans for the future you should be making, Ekin.
Listen, I'm not the one trying to get the nickname here.
All right.
You're right, I'm gonna die.
Oh, you'll be fine. Mostly. All right. Anything going on you guys want to tell me about?
I'm just so happy that no one questioned me wandering off with an old lady.
Not one person.
That's because you wander off all the time.
Kind of what you do.
That's true.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, they don't know anything. I don't know.
For as we know, this is like someone that you just helped on one of your wanderings.
I will say this though, this might be the first time I've actually been like smiling though.
Oh,
Aw, cute. Kill it.
I don't trust it.
I don't trust that smile. Kill it.
Yeah, my smile probably is terrifying for you, Terry.
So Terry, do I fear them climbing the walls? I mean, have I encountered Wisp-walkers outside of our one battle?
You haven't, but from what you can discern from them, they would be very hard up to climb a wall.
But we do think we saw at least one of the giants out there, right?
No giants. No, that was me misspeaking. It's just that the one that's hunting, the hunter.
Sweet. All right, that was a worry. Then we don't need to worry about the perimeter of the wall preventing them from climbing up, which also means we don't need to worry as much about the boiling hot tar, because again, sounds like that's not going to be an issue. You're reinforcing the genitalia there, all right?
For the listeners at home who can't see this map,
It does look like... I
John
know
is
what it
convinced
looks
the
like.
gate looks like a penis.
It does look like a penis. Unintentional.
And now it looks like a punk rock penis.
On penis notes, I'm gonna go check on that Dick Sedgwick.
Hey, what a transition!
Pushing hotkeys are fun. All right. So you want to go check on Cedric?
Yeah, considering Trist like dosed him with an antidote, but then left.
That's what Triss does.
So I don't know what the after effects were or how he's doing.
Triss,
He's fine.
you actually don't see Sedgwick so much as hear him. He's over there shouting at a bunch of
Young guys.
young men and trying to get them to form some kind of fucking line, which that's his words, not mine.
Some kind of fucking line.
Yeah. And he's actually ordering 2 lines of swordsmen. He's got about 20 men under his command. And he's like, he looks alive for the first time in a long time.
Alive because he's like hopped up on adrenaline? Like good adrenaline or bad adrenaline?
Oh?
Lovely. I don't like that.
Like, he's, like, his body, he's sweating a little, and that seems a little unnatural in the cool air, but he's like, there's like a shine to his eyes that you haven't seen. It's more of a mental shine to his eyes than a physical one.
Okay.
Catch my drift.
No, but I just want to make sure that the bad shit is out of his system.
And that side effect of my
Find
actual
out.
medicine, it makes your eyes shine like an anime character.
Yes.
Shine bright like a diamond?
Yes. All right, and then you actually see Lady McLear approaching him. She grabs his arm and whispers something to him, and then he kind of straightens and yells for the men to form ranks behind the wall here.
Oh, does he now?
Yep.
I go to meet up with him because as a second plan of defense, we should have the civilians as deep in the keep as possible and be prepared to fall back to the keep itself should the entrance be taken.
Okay.
Yeah, we need the children and any non-combative citizens.
So there are about 50 people that get rounded up and put into the keep. The old, the really young, but like anyone at the age of like 14 or 15, anyone large enough to wield a sword is holding a sword or a bow or a spear or something.
And how many archers do we have?
you have 50 bowmen, one of which is Lady McLear.
Hell yeah.
And is that little curve in the middle of the L of the keep, is that its only entrance?
That is a stairway, and yes.
So to everyone, I feel like that is our fallback point. There's no reason to stand here guarding the entrance if it's fallen and all get killed. If it comes to it, we fall back to that doorway and we make a second stand.
And then, as far as deep in the keep, is there a lower level, like a cellar?
Yes.
That should be where they should go.
All right.
For sure.
All the citizens, well, the ones that can fit. The cellar's a little small, but it'll fit a majority
Children.
of them. Children are,
Need to
okay.
be made priority, I think.
Children are priority. Children are prioritized and in the cellar.
I have a question for you, Terry.
Go for it.
Is the keep's highest floor taller or as tall as the wall?
It is slightly taller.
Okay. Is there a window facing the wall on the upper level at any point?
Yeah, the balconies you were standing on, there's one here and one here. Sorry, one here and one here. Thanks, you're welcome, listeners.
Okay.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. There's one to the east and one to the south of the keep.
Perfect. I'm only planning my secondary escape route for when everything dies.
Uh-huh.
So at the call for for the civilians to be brought to a certain location, I'm going to help my mom back up and to start walking her towards that area.
Okay. All right. As you are walking towards the keep, you actually see Heinrich and a couple of his apprentices setting up a triage. That's over here to the east of the keep. And you've got your bowmen lining up. You've got a few up here on the pillars, the towers that are to either side of the keep. And as the sun gets closer to the horizon, they light up beacons at the top of each of these towers. And yeah.
Is it the campground that's right out front of the keep?
Yes.
Okay, so that we can see when we are fighting things in the dark outside the keep, I don't think Ekin would do it, but he would pitch it to someone who could do it, to go set some of the stuff, to make bonfires in and around the campground. Doing their best not to light stuff on fire, but burning canvas and wood in fires to get big pools of light outside the walls.
Trusco takes a huge swig out of a bottle that he just has apparently found and volunteers, and starts heading that way.
All right. Sedgwick actually sends a few of the soldiers with you, a few of the swordsmen.
Before I go, I pass on to anyone in the group. I suppose I would have been around Ekin to hear that recommendation. And I just dropped the idea. It sure would be sweet if we had some explosive firepower on our arrows, but I haven't seen Trist in a while, so... And then I just start slurring and stop talking and just fumble off.
I guess I know where Trist went, so I can go chase him down after he's done helping his mom.
It's not much of a chase. I mean, I can only walk so fast.
For
That's
multiple
true.
reasons right now.
I just don't... Ekin would not approach while you are handling your... while you're getting your mom to safety. I wait.
You don't know who she is, though. No one does.
I know, but you are helping someone, specifically. I'm not going to interrupt a patient interaction. That's a thing to Ekin, I guess. I wouldn't approach.
Cool.
But once you're done, I walk up.
Yeah, so I'm going to say I get her into the keep, and I still leave her with my cloak, by the way. And then, Terry, I'm going to check something. Does she still have that little, the flower in the vial that I gave him?
Yes.
So I'm going to lean into where, I'm guessing she's just holding on to it, or is it, on a necklace now?
It's on a necklace now.
So I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to, kiss my lips up against the glass. I'm going to shake it a little bit, and then just put it back against her, like on her chest, and just kind of like place my hand like on the necklace itself. And I'm going to whisper something quietly to her, which I will let you know, Terry, and then I'm going to leave her in the keep. Oh, but after I whisper, I smile at her, and I just kind of like make sure that she's just aware that I am here for her.
She takes your hand in one of her hands and then pats the back of it. She's actively crying now. And then she gestures for you to go and help.
Is it? So this is me being trying to finagle my way into knowledge. Would it be like relation or something to understand like their relationship? Is that a thing? How would I check if I can like infer a relationship?
I don't think with relations, but I don't know.
You can ask me.
I can ask him.
I'm not gonna do that.
That's not Eakin's way.
Side note, that would be a really funny skill to specify. Like, oh yeah, I've got +5 and finding out if someone is someone's mom.
My discipline is identifying mothers. No, okay, it's not a big deal if there's not anything. I was just gonna see if I knew. But I walk up to him after that lovely interaction. Sorry about leaving you at the Alchemist earlier. It's just not the Alchemist. What the fuck is the title?
Yeah, he's an alchemist.
He's an alchemist?
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, it was at the apothecary, but yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about leaving you at the apothecary earlier. I had to come back. The Lady McClure there was an assassination attempt. It's a long story. Anyway, Tresco said something offhand, and I figured I'd ask. Do you know how to make something explosive in time for tonight? Arrows, preferably, or just pots. Honestly, we could drop them off the wall and blow them up a bit. His idea. Just figured I'd reach out.
So I'm still like smiling a little bit, and I kind of laugh and take off my glasses and start like cleaning them off on my shirt. Really? You're asking if I know how to make something explode?
Eakin just grins. He goes, I am so happy to help if you need a pair of hands.
I kind of lean over and look at where like Heinrich is with all of his assistants. Oh, they're gonna be busy, so I lean over you. I'm still like kind of like I'm in like a weirdly good mood. You want to learn how to make something cool?
Absolutely.
Stop. No, don't.
Eakin gained knowledge.
Eakin will remember this.
I have good erudition. Like, I'm not an idiot, so I think I'll actually be useful. But yeah, I will assist Trist if and when he decides to make explosives or some other alchemical goodie.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go up to Heinrich and ask if he has any excess, like, kerosene oils, any flammable liquids.
No, I don't have any of those on hand. I'm here to heal people, not explode them.
I look directly at him, I'm like, that's a lie. You always have something terrifying on you. Either you or your assistant is carrying something.
I have a small drum of flux in the wagon there.
Perfect.
Do be careful with it. If we do survive the night, I'd like to have some of it with which to experiment with.
I look over, I'll leave you half.
Very well. You will be paying me for the other half, though.
Is Eakin nearby?
Indeed I am.
Damn it, okay. Oh yeah, I figure, we're doing such a good thing. I figure one of the knights will probably help out with cost, and if not, I will sell you something important to me.
Where does he remove the fossil flux from to give us half?
It is not. Did I say fossil flux?
You said
thought
flux.
It's
you
just
said flux. Sorry.
It's not fossil flux. I
Weird.
should clarify. There is a difference between that flux and between fossil flux and other types of flux.
Sure.
So you know.
Where does he take the flux from?
What do you mean?
I'm going to steal the other half.
Ekin, no.
Ekin, no.
Yes, Ekin, yes.
So it was just on the wagon nearby, right? Like the one that they took in?
Yeah.
Yes, I go over there and I pick up the drum and I measure out half and I just kind of contain it into the vials that I have on me.
Okay.
Carefully, by the way, because I know flux is explosive. I'm not just like shaking it around.
You could just shake it around. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I could, but that's my idea for throwing a couple of them.
All right. I'd say you managed to make about 10. They're high impact, so they are way more devastating than they look.
Is that 10 with the half that he got, or 10 including the half that I'm stealing?
10 with the half that he got, because that's how many vials he has with which to contain it.
Perfect. So after he makes those, do we still have time so that I can give him the other half?
No.
Darn it.
So, wait, I think we all had ideas and things. You go first, Terry. You are the master of our world right now.
You don't have time, because on the horizon, to the north, where no one went to start fires, fire starts. Within moments, a lone soldier runs into the keep, screaming, "Fire! Fire! Bandits in the north!"
I completely ignore that and I just lean over to Ekin. So you're going to take a rag and you're going to twist.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Everyone hears that, though, yes?
Yeah.
Is the north the direction we were expecting this to come from?
No?
Shit. I grab Morgana and I run to the north. Is there a gate? There's a gate up there, yeah?
No, there's no north gate.
Not in the keep, but...
Yeah, there's a gate to the north of the Vale.
I stayed with Wilhelm.
You're very quiet, Ashley. What was that?
Oh, sorry. I stayed with Wilhelm. That was his name, right?
Waylon. It was Waylon.
Okay. I stayed with Waylon and was taking direction from him. Because he seems to know what may or may not happen, and I figured that was my best chance.
That's a good call. He actually sees... He's actually there when this man comes running into the keep. And he stops him. "Whoa, man, explain yourself. What are you talking about? There's not supposed to be any bandits." And the man, breathless, They're running to the north. They just burned our grain silo. They just came, they burned it, and they ran. I don't understand. This isn't... And then Waylon says, "Wait here a moment," and he runs to the keep, and within a few minutes you see him poke over the balcony, and he's looking off to the north.
I stick very close to him and follow him. What do we see off to the north?
You see a large fire in one of the buildings. Apparently the grain silo, the grain storage for this whole town. And you see some small figures leaving the Vale, like heading north through the northern gates. Those are no bandits. He walks into the back into the room and over to the corpse that's laying on the ground. "It's more of these," and he kicks it. And then walks downstairs. "They're not our problem right now. Right now we must survive the night. After that we'll figure out what to do about the food."
Excellent. If I notice Avon about to run off in that moment, then I will stop her.
Cool.
Cool.
Thank God.
So yes, you jump up on Morgana, and I like rush over and kind of like grab your leg. And be like, "No, that's not what's important right now. That is done. There's nothing we can do. We have to stay here and survive, and help the rest of this town survive."
I'm gonna stay on Morgana. Because I'm gonna run around and try to do some check-ins at our major points of both defense and offense, I guess is a good way to put it.
Sure.
And I will go back to our... I guess he's not a priest. But I'll just stick with him
Not a priest.
and be his assistant and do whatever he needs me to do.
All right. Arlen, come here. Come here, Spell.
Of course.
He hands you 3 more cards. 2 of them will survive. 1 will not. I can't tell you much more than that, but the 2 that survive tonight must survive through this whole endeavor. And then he looks around for a second, and the sun sets. I think it's time we got our defenses engaged.
So, are you asking me to defend them and make sure they live?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I will flip over the cards and see who I have to look out for.
You see a card, King of Mountains. The second card, the Queen of Mountains. And the third, the Traveler.
Okay, your first set of cards were a lot more straightforward. Do you know who these people are?
I have some ideas, but I can't be too forward with them.
Can you try and tell me as not forward as you can?
They're in this town. That's as much as I can do for you. I'm sorry. In the meantime, you should see to your friends. I'll guard the door.
Okay, will do. And I will keep those cards in my offhand,
All right.
and I'll be ready
the
to draw my
door-
sword.
Brilliant. The door is beginning to shut as Tresco and his 5 helper guys make their way back into the keep. You see splashes of firelight out in the campgrounds. And-
While we were in the campground, we just did just a quick search. Food that was left there, weapons that may have been left there, just anything that someone would have left at the campgrounds thinking they'd be back later. Tresco may or may not have some booze.
I'd say that you scavenged some stuff, but not a whole lot. Like, you grabbed packs. You knew the sun was setting. You had to grab the stuff quick and run. So yeah, and probably most people did grab their stuff if they were coming to the keep, just in case things got stolen. So, but you found some random straggling stuff. Yeah.
Can I do a check-in with Thistle?
Sure.
Aye. Sword thing.
It's Thistle. Don't be.
Getting used to this.
Get used to it faster.
God. How far off can you sense anything?
They're close, but I can't see them yet.
Do you know which direction?
The south and east.
Great. Great.
Real quick note, I am getting a slight echo from Micah.
I think it might be coming off of my headphones.
Yeah, I
shouldn't
got
be in
it
the
too, but we
recording, though.
can pretend it was because you were talking to Thistle.
Yeah, I mean, it was a cool effect while you're talking to your sword, so I mean, if it does pick up, cool.
Awesome.
Alright. Thistle gonna be able to give me anything useful right now?
Ask your questions.
God damn it. So how exactly do I use you?
You haven't figured that out yet?
How do I use you against Fiend?
You stab them with me.
They're just like any other sword.
Yes and no.
You're really getting on my nerves, you know that?
Welcome to the club. No, it'll be fine. Learn as you go. I can't tell you everything, because I don't know how it works on your end of things. I just do the stuff.
That's very helpful.
I will be. Glad you can acknowledge my helpfulness.
Alright, well, I'm gonna station myself at...
With Sedgwick?
probably? But I would assume that I should probably split and be somewhere else.
Where are you thinking?
Where's Sedgwick?
He's at the front line here with the swordsman. Front gate, behind the doors.
So we're not going right up on the gate?
Not yet. What do you mean?
That's the gate on the Hour-Out Edge, right?
Yeah.
He's up by the keep.
Yeah.
The door is sealed,
Yes.
but we're not regarding right by the door. That's what I'm asking.
Well, I mean, you're right behind the door, yeah? I don't know what you...
Why is he falling back as opposed to being right where the action's gonna be?
Because they're holding the line until the gate breaks through. The archers are going to take care of what they can.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on because you didn't tell me.
Tresco mostly explained it. It was a lot of arrows into them until the gates break. Once the gates break, then we're going to have them...
That's not on recorded. That's what I'm confused by.
Okay.
Because you guys talked about that before?
I thought it was on recording, but maybe not.
So Trusco's going to get ready to head up to the top of the south tower with his bow and post up with the archers. But he real quick starts shouting. He hops up on a box. He says, this isn't a death or glory battle. As soon as this door breaks, you fire off a few shots and you get to the keep. We'll make our second stand there. The only way we survive this is if you survive this, which is convenient for y'all. And then he heads upstairs.
Anything else last minute?
And that, Ekin, is how you make an exploding arrow.
Glad to know. Hope I get to make more sometime. Hope I don't die. I pull out the other half of the flux that I stole from the back of the cart, which I absolutely do by knocking over something that doesn't look fragile so that everyone goes to like helps pick stuff up right by that table where they're all setting up, and I scoop it. And then I hand it to Trist, and I say, don't know if it's useful in its current form, but here you go. Consider it a gift.
Oh my god. All
I'm
right.
just gonna look at it and just like, oh, come on. But I will pick it up and just carry it directly in its just drum.
Oh my god. All right. So everybody is ready for this, as far as they can tell. Are Ekin and Trist heading up to the wall?
Yeah, I mean, I need to give out as many of the arrows that I was able to dip into this as possible to give to the archers for like quick like last resort if anything starts bundling up.
Okay.
I'll take half of the arrows and say, I'll take the north tower, you get the south. And I head up to the gatehouse tower with 5 of the arrows.
All right.
As he runs off, I'm gonna look straight up into the sky and just kind of mumble about, well, gods, now's your time to prove yourself, I guess, and just start going over to the tower I need to go to.
As you do so, you see it start to snow. And with that first flake, you hear a high-pitched squeal off into the south, coming from the forest. And then you hear the sound of some kind of stampede. The ground starts shaking. And you hear some like mumbles, maybe, some whispers, some malcontent even amongst the people on the walls. A lot of, we're not gonna make it. There's no way, there's too many of them. And then Thistle straight into Avon's mind. Now, Avon, now's the time. Figure out what to do.
I draw my sword.
You draw your sword.
Well, I draw Thistle, not my sword.
You draw Thistle, and you feel something tugging at your mind.
Okay?
You're gonna have to do a little bit more. You've gotta inspire. That's what Nevin would do.
No! I
Inspiring.
took the disadvantage shy? No!
If you don't, you're going to die. Well, you're going to die. And then I'm gonna be in the hands of a fucking fiend.
What does that have to do with me fighting with you?
If these people break, it's your fault.
No.
Do you need a minute to think?
No, Avon's not gonna do it.
Okay.
She's so fucking scared and shy, and I get a negative in relations.
All right.
So Arlen is now sword out, walking through the lines of people with 3 cards in her hand, just watching all these people.
Okay.
When do you think she would eventually get to Avon?
Probably around the same time you notice Sedgwick's banner hanging on the pedestal, not the pedestal, but the raised platform where they had the standings. You see his banner is a mountain surrounded by a crown. And like, it was kind of one of those moments of you see that, and then Avon comes into focus standing before it.
Perfect. Arlen smiles and comes up. Avon, what are you doing right now? What do you look like? And what is Sedgwick doing? And what does he look like?
Well, I never got off of Morgana. So I'm just sitting there with my sword drawn, and I'm kind of like halfway between Sedgwick and his men and the wall. And I'm kind of just frozen.
And how
Yeah.
is Sedgwick looking?
Sedgwick is looking super excited to fight. He is barking out orders, even though he doesn't really need to anymore, but he's doing what he can to keep the men distracted. Like, if he has the idea that if he keeps their attention on him and his shouting, they aren't going to hear the horrible, horrible noises coming from the other side of the wall.
So Arlen will walk up. As she passes Sedgwick, her sword is drawn also. And using the hand with the 3 cards, that's what she uses to pat him on the back. And she'll kind of slip the Mountain King card down like the back of his armor.
Okay.
And she's like, we've got this, Sedgwick. This
Aye, lass.
glorious.
Glorious battle we'll meet.
And she'll keep walking on until she's standing next to Avon. And she'll look at the Mountain Queen card and look up at Avon. Still not completely convinced that this one's for her. But maybe. Maybe. How you holding up, David?
I've never been so scared shitless in all my life. Actually, that's not completely true. There's one other time I've been scared this shitless, but last time I thought I'd die too.
You're going to make it. I promise you. I will make sure that you make it.
Once again, I can't really tell if you're flirting with me. Trying to make a joke. Like, it's very obvious it's a forced joke, and she doesn't know how to make a joke out of it.
At that, I think Arlen will pick up on the unrest of the people and notice that Avon's kind of the only one, like, on a horse in this area. And look at Avon and be like, listen, you're in charge in this area. Bring the morale up. We've got this. We will win this night. Let the rest of the people know this too.
She, like, gives a big, heavy sigh. Looks down at you. As she kind of tries, like, it gives her a little bit of guts.
I will be right here.
Avon turns on her horse. Now, nobody be brave tonight. Except for as brave as you need to be for yourselves. The important thing is stay alive. Fight when you need to fight. Do not go looking for fights that are unnecessary. If the archers can take it, if the tar wall can take it, let it take it. I want as many people to walk out of here alive as are possible. Is that understood?
And
I have to roll, possibly, because I get a -1 to relations in public.
you don't. Something vibrates through Thistle. Your words vibrate through Thistle and carry through the crowd. People's backs kind of start to straighten. They look towards you. And you see a few nods. You see people that are still scared, but they're standing straighter. Spears stop shaking. The fiends hit the gate. The stampede's coming, and you hear the archers start to shout. They're loosing arrows at everything. They're not even really aiming. There's no volley. It's just firing at will. You hear a few screeches. You hear some horrible, gut-wrenching sounds from the other side of the wall. One of the archers breaks and runs.
I step up and ready my bow at the closest, biggest-looking fiend I can see.
All right.
And as I do it, as I make this shot, I shout, "The next man who misses because of a shitty shot, I'll kill him myself."
I cut off.
The next man who misses because he had cowardice in his heart, I'll murder him myself if we live through this. And then I fire my shot.
Okay.
Real quick, is he in the area where I'm bringing up the arrows to, or is the side that Ekin was bringing the explosive arrows? I went south. I think Ekin went east, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you are on the same tower as Tresco.
Cool. So after here, I'm assuming I get there at that moment because it takes a while to walk upstairs. I'm like, inspiring, and I'm just gonna hand him some arrows. Also, I'm going to pick up the bow and arrow, like the bow that one dude dropped, and just pick it up and aim it.
Okay.
Make your shot, Tresco. Tresco was making a shot first.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So my total roll is a 15, and then do I add the 2 that is a... no, the 2 is damage for a bow. Do I add that? My roll is 15, so 15 plus 2, 17.
That would be for damage. So it's a 15 to hit, and that would hit. The arrow, are you using just a normal arrow, or did you use one of the arrows Tristan?
I don't know. Trist, did you get there before or after I said that?
I got there after you said about the cowardice thing, so I think you would already have an arrow lined up, so not the... I would assume.
Alright. So the arrow flies true. It actually pierces straight into one of the glowy orb nastiness that you know is a weakness. It pops, and the creature ducks or something and like kind of somersaults a bit, gets, righted again, takes a few steps, and then collapses in front of its mates, which trample it.
See, look at that, boyos. They're gonna do half the work for us. I might not have to kill any of you yet.
Alright.
Terry,
Yeah.
as I walk up to the tower on the east, is there anyone up there that is, I don't know, just since they're already shooting at this horde, is there anyone out there that seems particularly adept at the bow?
Yeah, there is.
Who is it? Lady McClear is a badass archer.
Oh yeah, dude.
Okay, as I'm walking up, do I see the hunter yet?
You don't see the hunter yet.
Okay,
you
I
can
hand
feel
out.
him out there.
I hand out 4 of the arrows,
Okay.
and I hold the 5th one before I hand it over. Or on the way up, actually. It's better if I do it on the way up so that no one else sees this. And I whisper to it, do you know what you were made for? You were made to kill a very particular fiend. You were made. Oh, it talked back. Okay. I think that does startle Eakin a little bit. He didn't expect it that fast.
You throw it.
You're going to kill the hunter for me.
I'm going to kill the hunter for you.
That's your whole purpose. You were made with only one job, and that is it, and you're about to do that tonight. Can you do that?
If that was my purpose, then yes.
All right. I'm trusting you.
That's a bad idea. But I'll do my best.
I hand the arrow to Lady McClear, and as I do, I say, you don't shoot this one until you see the thing leading them.
Aye, boy. Whatever. And she pockets it, sort of, so it's separate from the rest of her arrows. Bumping mics. Ew. Gross.
And I walk away once they're delivered.
All right. Well, the waves of these creatures are starting to kind of converge on the one weak spot of this keep, wooden gates. And they're starting to... Oh, yes?
Are the archers doing better?
Yes, they're doing better. But there is a lot.
What is a lot?
Uncountable. Like they're coming in...
Are they orbs? Or are they wisp-walkers?
They are wisp-walkers.
Okay.
You see hundreds of these things pouring from the forest. Uncountable hundreds. The archers are doing what they can, and many are falling, and many more are being trampled by their brethren. But they still make their way to the wooden weakness of this keep, wooden gate. They start throwing themselves bodily against the gate, or the gate doors. They're making very little actual difference as of right now. So your archers are picking them off as best they can.
Fish in a barrel, boys.
Then... Oh, hang on, my computer just did a weird thing.
Yeah. So before we jump to the next sequence, I'm just gonna pretty much like lean over the edge and just shoot one of the explosive arrows into the pile.
My computer's doing weird things still. Am I coming through clear? Okay. Alright, the arrow doesn't hit anything. It hits the ground, but it still explodes.
Doesn't need to hit him, it just needs to hit something.
The arrow explodes, and chunks of Fiend and Iker splatter against the gates and up along any archers that are standing close to the wall, or close to the edge of the towers. A few of them retch from the, ichor getting in their nose. So there's that.
It's not even the grossest liquid I've had on me today.
You're not even on this side.
All right. With that, something seems to change amongst the fiends. They grow rigid for a moment. Ekin, you can feel it. It's closer. Avon, he's here. The hunter.
Who's the hunter?
The one chasing your friend. Did he not tell you?
Well, he told me and Lady Nuclear. I just never saw it.
Oh.
I didn't say anything about its history, really. I just said that. Well, I said that I saw it in my mind, so that's a thing, I guess.
You guys up on the towers, you sense and see something actively changing within the fiends on the ground. They go rigid for a half second and then continue their onslaught against the gate. As they do so, Ekin, you sense the hunter step on the battlefield. He's within eyesight, but not arrow shot. All right. The hunter comes out of the woods, and beside him is a fiend that none of you have ever seen. It appears to have hard bone plating along the head and spine. It's stout, but long. The best way to think of this thing is a multi-legged battering ram. It charges forward, picking up speed, barreling through fiends on its way. Anything, and any fiend that gets in its way is trampled to dust.
I grab one of my explosive arrows and draw a bead.
Okay.
What's its distance right now?
It is just out of bow shot, but it is closing fast.
Cool. I'm gonna try to get 2 shots off on it, so I'm gonna have my first one ready. So as soon as it's within range, I'll fire, and then I'm gonna get another one ready.
Are these the explosive arrows that I handed you?
Yes.
Okay. Go for it. Tresco?
Yeah, sorry, it was just a really good roll, and I was considering grabbing my webcam and showing it to you, but
I can't see it.
15.
All right. It hits. And it's through the fire.
That all cut out.
Okay, that'll cut out again. Great. You hit it square on the head plate, if you will, and it explodes. But through the fire, the thing continues forward, barely flinching.
I ready my next arrow, and now that it's on fire, I say, whoever helps me with this one, drinks are on me.
Okay.
Do you, would the fact that all my dudes are kind of firing at once be a bonus to my roll, or do you just want to imagine the damage from how do you want that? What do you want to do?
We'll just narrate that damage. We don't need to roll for it. Okay.
10.
All right. So your arrow flies and hits in front of it, exploding the earth in front of it. It runs through that fire as well. It's now being pelted on all sides by arrows from your compatriots. But it barely seems to be staggering. An arrow goes through its foot, one of its many feet, and the leg kind of limply drags with everything else, but it barely slows. It collides with the gate. It collides with such force that the towers themselves shake. The gate splinters, and down on the courtyard, you see the gate kind of splintering inward.
At that, Arlen will turn to Avon. Like, Avon, steady the men. Get them ready. It's about showtime.
Thanks, stage manager.
Anytime.
Is that the new card for her, the stage manager?
Yeah. Stage manager tarot card.
At this point, about how many fiends are around the gate besides the battering ram?
Hundreds. Like, it's hard to count between the corpses and what's moving and what's dead and but there's still a lot.
Okay.
The hunter is slowly making its way across the battlefield.
Is the door down, or is
No,
it
it's just
being buried?
It's just being barrage. But this thing isn't even like backing up. It's just continuing to push and push and push, and the doors are beginning to bow.
Okay.
Do I have a line of sight on Lady McLear?
Possibly. Let's see. I would say probably not, unfortunately. She would be on the outside of the eastern tower, and you're kind of inside in the courtyard on the ground.
Okay, that makes sense. And have I noticed anyone who might be a traveler?
You have not.
Okay.
Real quick,
Then I will.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say then I will keep my stance with Avon and Sedgwick.
You said that those towers on either side of the gate were coming down,
They were just shaking from the
but they're
force.
going to come down if he gets through.
It's possible, yes.
If it's possible to even be heard, that's my only concern. Avon would shout up to Tresco, most likely, or Lady McLear, who are up on the wall, to try and go left and right of those towers so that they're not in a section that would be unstable.
Okay.
Yeah, to my half, I spread that command, move down the wall, maintain our line of firing, stay on the big one.
All right. The big one is continuing to push its way through the gate. The wood is splintering, breaking and cracking and groaning. Just as it gives, Waylon walks forward. There isn't much I can do, but I can do this. And he kind of says it to everyone, but Arlen's the one that hears it in particular. I can give you one leg up. And he walks forward. You can kind of hear a couple stones clattering in his hand. And he like kind of force palms them into the ground, and as he does so, like a bunch of really sharp roots stab up from the ground and into the underside of this fiend, the battering ram. It lets loose this horrible cry that's so high-pitched that you instinctively cover your ears. The wall is down, and it's utter chaos.
The wall is down. The wall. Well, I've made it 2 more episodes than I thought I would, everyone.
We'll see you next week.
Shadows of Esteren and its logo are trademarks of Agate RPG in the U.S.A. and other countries. All Agate RPG characters and character names and the distinctive likenesses thereof are trademarks of Agate RPG. Content derived from Agate RPG publications is copyright 2012 Agate RPG. Agate RPG is a brand of Agate Editions. Please support the creators of this game. You can do so by going to portal.esteren.org/en, and you can also receive an email when they launch their next pre-order or Kickstarter by following the link below. You can also find a free download of Book 0 Prologue on drivethrurpg.com so you can get started with your friends immediately, and I highly recommend you do so. Prologue is amazing. It has 3 really well-written stories that are great ways to introduce your friends into the Shadows of Esteren universe. Highly recommended. Hey, did you enjoy the music? The game developers made that too. Do you want the music? The developers' Bandcamp has all of their music available for purchase if you're interested. As always, the link is in the description. I should probably also note that the opening song and the closing song were made in-house by Micah Westhoff. So if you wanted those, I'm almost certain we're going to make those available in some way, shape, or form. Support the show by rating us on your preferred podcast source and by following us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, where you can get all the latest Wastebin news as well as a look at the maps and other artsy stuff we use for sessions. All those links are below. And for those of you that want a little more, go and check out our Patreon. That link too is in the description. Thanks everyone, and see you next week.